We are live, gentlemen. We are live. Hello and welcome to all our both our listeners. Check the timing, Andy. It said 8:05 if you look carefully on your YouTube. And welcome. We are here representing the effort of... Oh, hold on. I have got something going on here.
Is tech support making a mess?
Yeah.
So anyway, whilst Matthew is doing whatever
carry on, Dave. Take over.
I'm not quite sure what Matthew was saying we're going to represent, but you've got a lovely selection of people from the Effect Podcast Patreon, and lots of lovely friends and people that we game with. Someone's dog is making a lot of noise. Or is that mine?
Might be
no,
mine.
it's not mine. It's not mine. But yes, so we are here today to run through the life path character creation system in Tales of the Old West. And we'd originally decided to do it as a opportunity just to demonstrate how much fun it can be. But our lovely friend Bruce, who is who's up there, has been and still is frequently running games of Tales of the Old West at conventions, and he's got one coming up in, I'm not quite sure where that is, Bruce, if you want to tell us.
So there is a game at UK Games Expo on Sunday, but the bad news is it's a sold out game.
Cool. But well, cool for you. Sad for anybody else who wants to get into the game. But anyway, we've decided to take this opportunity to create the pre-generated characters for Bruce's game at UK Games Expo, if of course he wants to take them. But we're going to produce them for him as part of this show, and that should be great fun. But so very quickly, you all know me. I'm Dave from the Effect Podcast, Effect Publishing. You know Matthew, who is over there, who's looking perplexed. My partner in crime in the podcast and the publishing company. Bruce, you've already kind of just not introduced yourself. You've spoken, but do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
I am Bruce. I'm mostly just run games at UK Games at conventions, and of course, Tales of the Old West has certainly been with them and been a popular one of that as well.
Cool, thank you. Let's get around the rest of the lovely crew. Let's go straight down. Jed.
Yes. I've been running a game starting with the playtest document since November, and
cool. Yeah.
Having fun with that. And I'm located in the States.
Lovely, thank you. Douglas.
I run a teeny tiny channel, Reluctant Artsy. I'm in Canada, and I'm a friend of Effect and the podcast, and have been a member for I think 2 or 3 years now. So I'm here to help out.
Lovely. And last but not least, Paul.
I'm one of the members of the Effect podcast brigade, I suppose. Fans,
posse, sure.
Fanboys. Been a member for a few years, and I do stuff with role-playing games. And
cool.
Let's chat.
Matt, we can't hear you.
Again.
We can hear that.
We can hear that. Yeah.
Right. I just want to point out that some of the stuff you do with role-playing games is our VVT, and now our
VTT
virtual tabletop.
Yeah.
Indeed. And many others for Free League and others. Yes, so excellent. That's lovely introductions. How are we planning to run this, Matthew?
Okay, well, first of all, what I wanted to say was, if you're listening to this and want to play along, then you should go to our website. And if you go to our website, you can go to here, to
Do you,
this screen here, and you can find downloads here, and you can download your own form fillable version of this spreadsheet here by pressing that button there. And also, of course, you should pull out your books. Who's got a book they can show people?
well, obviously, everybody has except you.
I also have
Am
a
I
book
the
can
only
show
one with
people.
fancy?
No, I've got fancy
Oh,
too.
I
that's
do have
good.
fancy as well. So
Everybody
I just
should
got-
buy it just for the smell.
I just have my homemade booklet because mine is still on the boat.
Yes. You Americans, you're still waiting for your delivery.
Yes.
Canada was mailed direct, far more expensively. We're giving you excellent value in America. And I noticed Donald Trump is also helping in giving us excellent value by reducing the tariff
the
on
tariffs on China, which is good of him. Yeah.
Chinese dice and things. If you
Yeah,
order,
I rang him and said, Donny, our things are coming in this week. Can you get those? Just bring them down for a week, and then oh, by the way, I'll throw in an aircraft for you, so
There you go.
that'll be fine.
Oh, the aircraft being that
He seemed-
Qatari 747 that you're promised him, is it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You got to buy
Anyway.
Tales of the Old West. It's a great game. It's going to be fantastic. Everybody's going to love it.
He's got banners. He's got whole banners just
Yeah.
devoted to Tales of the Old West.
Anyway, that's
So-
enough Trump on this.
That's enough.
Broadcast.
Now,
I roleplay
instead
to
of that,
escape reality.
Bruce,
Yeah, exactly.
tell us what sort of personalities you are looking for, or tell us a little bit about the adventure and the sort of people you're hoping that we're going to create.
Okay, so ideally, the adventure is aimed to try and let anybody who's got their character created. But as typical, there's usually some skills we'd like to hopefully see, and given that it involves driving a stagecoach, operate will certainly be a big
Okay.
one. And I definitely don't want a group of friends, because what I find, especially at a convention game, one of the best things that drives it is when player characters don't quite get along with each other because of differing agendas or faiths. It really brings that to the table.
So what you're saying
I
is
think we can achieve that.
you're looking for the Hateful Eight rather
The
than
hateful
Magnificent Seven.
Five.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, and the
Six.
ugly,
The
plus 3 more.
Suspicious Six.
The Suspicious Six.
Cool.
Now,
cool.
I just going to share my screen in a different sort of way. We have got here a copy of the rules, I believe. I can find it. Yes, over here. This is our character sheet. So when I'm filling in mine, I might share that with you. People want to share their character sheets, they can, but the rules are here, and this is the chapter we're going to use, which is about life path generation. So what we're saying, though, is when there is a narrative element that appears where two people get born in the same area or something like that, we may want to understand why they hate each other, Bruce, rather than why they're best mates.
Well, they can be best mates if they want to, and just say, well, we just don't like those people from other areas. I will
yeah.
say this adventure starts off in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Cool. Good
So-
choice.
All the best adventures do.
Yeah.
And there's a lovely map in the book, and there's a write-up, and
Beautiful.
yeah. So yeah,
Cool. So
Good
are
choice.
we ready to start then?
I think so. Without any further ado, I'd suggest let's crack on.
Can I ask whether people, I think this is, I'm not going to hold you by this decision, but are any of you thinking of being a young green around the ears, green around the gills? No, a greenhorn is what I'm looking for, an inexperienced young person full of youthful vigor? Or are you going to be an old timer with all your teeth knocked out, but with a bunch of extra skills and talents? Or are you going to be in between those two?
Well, for me, I'm going to let the dice decide and see how it feels.
See how it
was-
feels.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
We'll all do that. Okay, brilliant. So then I'd like everybody to roll 2d6, totaling the surface to give us 12. And then we'll look at this table here.
So I got 7, which
7.
places me in the Northeast. New
Ooh.
England, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania can be European, African, or native. I'll have a little think about what that's going to be whilst everyone else is giving us their results.
Well, I also got the
There's-
Northeast.
Oh, sorry. You got the Northeast as well. This is weighted towards that, obviously. Jed, what about you?
I rolled a 6.
Aha, so you're European, Jed.
Aha.
Douglas?
Southeast, an 8.
Ooh, an 8. Excellent. Paul?
I got a 5. Great Lakes and Midwest, including Indian Territory.
Excellent. So what we call Europe is United Kingdom, Ireland, the Netherlands, Germany, Poland, France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Scandinavia, including Iceland and Greenland. These are quite large regions of the world, we're saying here. Finland and the Russian Empire is also included in Europe. So have a think about those.
Okay.
But before we do that, let's go back to you, Dave, you and Bruce, and find out what your parents might have been doing
in the
in
Northeast. Yeah.
the Northeast.
Okay, so I've made my roll. I rolled a 4. So
Hold on.
my parents found employment in the industrial economy working in one of the fish canning factories. Well, that sounds exciting.
And what does that mean for you? You get grit of 4, grit of 3, quick of 3, cunning of 4. Oh no, hold on.
Grit of 4, quick of 5, cunning of 3, docility of 3.
Yeah.
And I get labor, fighting, light-fingered, operate, and making as my skills to start with.
And 2 points in light-fingered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just say I'm hearing some background, quite a lot of background hum. I don't know where that's coming from.
Who's that coming from?
I don't know. But it's quite. I don't know if anybody else is hearing it, but
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
It's not
Yeah.
Bruce because he's on mute. I think it might be you, Paul.
No, I muted earlier and it was still going.
Ah, right.
it seems to have gone. No one has come back again.
Okay, so it's me.
Anyway,
it's me somehow. So,
Okay, I mean, it might be not. It might be outside noise that you can't deal with. It's just if it was, then we could try and minimize it.
That's a lot better.
That
Yeah.
is much better.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks. Oh yeah.
Still hear who? Okay. Bruce, do you want to roll for in the Northeast?
Yeah, I got 2. My parents were talented musicians, fitted in a theatrical world where no one cared about the color of their skin.
And you are you've got a grit of 3 and a quick of 4, a cunning of 4, and a docility of 4. Your skills that you get from this childhood are a presence of 1, a movement of 1, light-fingered 1, performing 2, and making 1. So I think you are both of you of a slightly different class, Dave and
Bruce.
Bruce. So I don't know whether you know each other from childhood, but you probably don't.
Well, let's see
Well,
how the rest of the thing
yeah,
goes when we
goes.
get there. Yeah.
Right, and then who came from the southeast? Douglas, that was you, wasn't it? Do you want to roll your dice?
Ah.
Ooh, hoity-toity. No. No, your performing is 2 there. Yeah. Ah. Right. Who else is there? Who hasn't? Is it just us? Oh no, Paul. Where are you from? You're from the Great Lakes.
Yes, I rolled a. Oh, look at the wrong chart. Where's the Great Lakes?
Great Lakes
I
is
rolled
on
really-
278. What did you
in that
roll?
case, I've just looked at the completely. Right, okay. I rolled a 5. So my parents ran a livery stable, and I grew up around horses, watching my father shoe them.
Ah,
Cool.
excellent. So you've got a grid of 4, a quick of 5, a cunning of 3, and a docility of 3. Your skills are labor 2, animal handling 2, and making of 2.
Super.
Now, us Europeans, I think. What did you roll, Jed?
Was I supposed to roll a d6?
A D6.
Okay, I rolled a 6.
Ooh, you hoity-toity. You've turned your back on your aristocratic family to fight for the rights of the working man in the land built upon the principles of Thomas Paine. But that didn't stop you using your family's wealth. So make a note of the fact that you've got +2 capital before you even start earning money.
Oh, wow.
You've got grid of 4, quick of 3, cunning of 3, and docility of 5. You've also got presence of 1, fighting of 1, shooting of 1, insight of 1, performing of 1, and book learning of 1. Very much a jack of all trades, but I would argue a master of none.
Yes.
And I'm going to roll on the same table, and I get a 2. So my parents were non-conformists and took advantage of America's reputation for religious freedom. And I have got a grid of 4, quickness of 3, cunning of 4, docility of 4, and I've got presence of 2, labor 1, insight 1, performing 1, and doctrine 1.
Cool.
So, Dave, do you want to do the next stage?
Yeah, so what do we get to next? Is it,
The family background.
What's left of your family? Okay, I roll 2d6, add them together. That gives me 11.
Your family. Oh, sorry, you're reading this.
Yeah, no, that's fine. My family is tiny, just me and one parent who's come to live with you, so I gain a compadre. So obviously, I think one of my parents died working in the cannery, and that probably then inspired us to pick up and leave. So I think my mother died in the cannery, and my heartbroken father and I have gone west.
Excellent. Do you want to do Bruce? Help Bruce with his as well.
Okay. 2d6 coming up. 5.
5. Your family ain't big, just you and a few scattered relatives. You don't always see eye to eye, but for the most part you get on. Blood is blood, after all.
So I'm just spending time putting my skills in place.
Okay, who's next then? Paul, did you want to roll for your family?
Yeah, I did. I got a massive 3.
Okay, your family was big until the curse. Death, madness, and foolishness reduced them all to ruins, and you had no choice but to leave those who still survived behind.
Looks like I'm going to be picking up the horse manure, doesn't it?
So are you mad as well, or foolish, or yeah? Well, you're not dead, are you? So
I'm not dead, so I'm probably a bit of both.
Doug, what are you doing? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that counts.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So is it only me left to find out what my family's doing?
I think so.
Me
Jed,
too.
have you rolled? No, Jed.
Jed, first.
Let's see. Family background. 7.
You come from a huge extended family, but they hate you and cast you out. They may be local or far away, but they will chase you away if they ever see you again, except for one sibling.
Okay.
But that doesn't give you a compadre, though.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, rolled a 4, so I have lived as long as I can. I lived alone as long as I can remember. My family lies somewhere in the past, and I don't really miss them. So maybe if my parents were non-conformists and were very religious, I rebelled against that. So the next thing we need to do is find our very first living. And I want to focus on you, Douglas, because I remember that you had an extra bonus of 1 on your living. So roll 2d6 and add 1.
I'll be right back whilst you're doing that.
So you're a homesteader. Now let's go to page 291. I think we got the pagination right on this. It's be terrible to find out now that we haven't. 291 is indeed the homesteader. Roll a d6 for me, please. You proved your community spirit time and time again. When your neighbors look for someone to join the posse, they look to you. You get an extra 1 in presence and 1 in insight. You can take a talent of war cry or shotgun master. Yep. And you get the following equipment. Whoa, you're doing quite well here. A Cooper and 2d6 rounds. A Roper repeating shotgun and 1d6 cartridges. An American quarter horse. You get 1 compadre, +1 on your fame, and +1 on your reputation. +2 on your reputation. We're both correct with each other. That gives you an extra compadre if you've already got one. I'm just going to quickly ask here, Bruce, what are your feelings about compadres in your game?
I think compadres might not come up immediately, but maybe there's something. If the dice don't go well in the person's favor, I may allow them in the background. So let's keep them as is. But it may not come up in that particular adventure.
You can, you can either put them right in the background on the day if you want to, and just say they're not there to be used unless you say otherwise. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. For who's next then? Shall we go with your character, Bruce?
Okay, let's see what the 2d6 tell me. Well, that is Snake Eyes.
So
what are you trying to say about the theatre and coming over from probably New York or something.
So you are an outlaw, and you can roll a d6 for me now, and we'll look on the outlaw table, which I will change the format so that we can actually see what the outlaw table says.
A 2.
A 2. You kill a man in a fair fight. You have the respect of your peers. Add 1 to your fighting and 1 to your shooting. And you can choose brawler or pugilist as your talent.
Just have to remind me what the brawler one does.
You might want to write them both down and have a look at them a bit later on.
Yeah, I'll have a look at my mute.
You also get a Colt 1860 New Army and 3d6 rounds.
Okay. Excellent. So that's 8 rounds.
And you also get $4d6.
So that's $10.
You get +1 to your fame and -1 to your reputation.
Can't think why.
Because you killed a man in a fair fight. Right. Dave,
So
how about you next?
I rolled a 5,
Oh,
which makes me a grifter.
okay.
And then I rolled a 2, which makes me probably more of a bounty hunter. Your trade isn't loved, and you don't love yourself much either. Bounty hunters are none too fussy about who they bring in.
Yeah, you get +1 to Hawkeye, useful for tracking, and +1 to shooting, useful
For shooting. But you don't say.
You can also take a bladed specialism. You can take flying blade or tomahawk fighter.
I think I'm going to take Tomahawk Fighter.
And you get a knife. I guess we could swap that out if you wanted to have
Make it a Tomahawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to make that a Tomahawk.
You get a Remington 1858 and 2d6 rounds.
1858. Oh, I get lots of guns. I get a Winchester 1868 as well.
Yeah.
Cool. I need some more shooting skill then.
And another 2d6 rounds.
2d6 for both of those, was it? Okay. I shall do those in a moment. And 4d6 times 1 cash. That's 6. $14 I get there.
Brilliant. Now, actually, I should be focusing on Jed here because everybody else has got their own book. So, Jed, what roll first of all 2d6, add them up.
I did. I got a 5.
You got a 5. You too are a grifter.
Aha.
Maybe you are in a similar trade, but then roll a d6 and see.
And then for the second roll, I got a 3.
A 3. You won a claim. You win a claim, a mining claim, in a bet with a drunken prospector. So if you want to make another living roll, you can make a living roll on the labourer living outcome table.
Okay, do that now.
No, that's a bit later on.
Okay.
But
So
you
yeah,
also-
if you go for a new living, for a second living, you then are forced to make it on that table because of the outcome of this living.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, life has pushed you in that direction.
you get resilience of 1 and insight of 1. And you
Is
get
it
to
talents?
shoot a talent of a gambler or minor 49er.
Oh, I think definitely gambler.
Jolly good. A minor 49er, though, I just want to tell, is the only way you can handle dynamite
safely.
without trouble, even on your first roll.
Yeah.
But this is for a convention game, so handling dynamite safely is actually not that important.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's a fair point.
Yes, and so you've got an outfit, you've got a business, which is a mining claim with 1 capital.
But I already bring 2 to it, so I'm doing pretty good. Possible.
And you also have $6d6.
$18.
Paul, should we do you next?
Yeah, I'll roll a 3.
You rolled a 3, so you are an outlaw too.
We're all
Yeah.
outlaws and
Maybe.
grifters.
Maybe you get along with Bruce.
Yeah, I was
Maybe
gonna,
not.
Well, unless Bruce wants a bit of diversity, and I'll re-roll. I don't mind, but otherwise I'll take
I
that
have a
one.
sneaking suspicion a bunch of outlaws and grifters might go down very well at Bruce's
Yeah,
adventure.
will.
And just to add for Jed, dynamite will be available.
And I rolled a 1 on the outlaw table.
Oh no! You shoot a bank clerk in the back when you didn't need to. You're not only a killer, but a coward. Thrown out of the gang, your next roll on the livings table has a -1 modifier. If you choose to make another roll, you get shooting +1 and move. You add 1 to that. And you can have a talent of either cold-blooded or fast shooter. I think this was the one that originally one of the bits of equipment you got was no clothes and a barrel, wasn't it? Or is that?
No, that's one of the grifter ones.
Oh, that's one of the grifter ones.
Where
Oh,
you get tarred and feathered and kicked out of town. Everyone I've played with who've rolled up that said, "What the hell have I got a barrel for?" It always seems a bit odd.
Your cult.
I'll take fast, cold-blooded.
Excellent. You also got a Colt 45, otherwise known as a peacemaker. From one of my favorite lyrics of a song is "It's called a peacemaker, but I never knew why." 2d6, 5 rounds, excellent. $3d6.
So quickly,
Didn't get
Jed,
much
have you got a mechanical keyboard there?
Yes, I apologize.
Can I ask if you're typing? Can you just
Yeah.
mute? Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
I'm not using mine for that very reason because it's quite loud. Thank you.
I got $7.
And you've got +1 in fame and -2 in reputation. Right. So then we're up with you, Douglas. Oh no, actually, hold. You've done your first living, haven't you? Though, so it's me next, I think. Actually, so I'm just going to roll mine and see what I am. I'm a 7 ranch hand.
Ranch hand.
So that's a little bit of novelty for us fans here. Here we go, and I roll a d6 now. I get a 4. So I'm put in charge of the chuck wagon, a well-respected role which feeds and cares for the other hands on the long cattle drives to the railway. The boys listen for my booming voice calling out to them to chow down. I am definitely the guy that's going to help cure the other players here. Second point in doctoring and making. And I can have charming or authority. And I think I might well take authority. And yeah, I get a wagon and a horse, a sleeping roll, 2d6 $66. That's a lot of dollars. Let me roll those dollars. Oh, that's 3 6s. That's not bad.
I robbed the bank.
I
and only got
can't sadly
$7.
claim a point of faith.
You're obviously a rubbish bank robber.
19, 20, $22. And oh, hold on. Scrolled out the way. $22 and a compadre. Right, I'll write that down. Dave, do you want to talk people through their second living?
Yep. Douglas, so did you want to take a second living? You don't have to. So if you choose to, you will have to lose 1 point from a attribute of your choice to reflect you being a little bit older in your sort of 30s or 40s. But then you get to roll again and go through the same process and see what you find. Okay. So the outcome of your last living, sorry, I popped out of the room. So did that direct you to a particular living? Yep. Okay. So that works. Yeah, exactly. It's your choice. You just reduce 1 point from one of your attributes. And then you roll 2d6 on the finding and living table again. 7, a ranch hand this time. 289, a couple of pages on. And then you roll a d6 again to see what happened during this time. 3. You became a wrangler, looking after the spare horses on the trail and learning to bust the broncos. So this gives you +1 to animal handling and +1 to nature. You get to choose either the bronc buster talent, which allows you to train horses, or horse warrior, which helps you when you're fighting from horseback. And you get a bunch of gear, which we'll come to in a moment once you've made up your mind on those things. Nature. And it's bronc buster, horse warrior, or bronc buster. Yep. Yeah, so horse warrior, just for your information, gives you a +1 bonus to all attacks from a mount. And that includes using a gun. Yeah, so your gear, you gain a Colt Peacemaker pistol and 2d6 rounds. You gain... Cool. You also gain a lasso and a sleeping roll. I'm saving the best for last here. You gain 4d6 dollars to add to your cash total. So add that to whatever cash you got last time, if any. And you also, best for last, you get a Mustang. You get a horse. Yeah.
Not a Ford Mustang. You do, yeah.
Yep. Cool.
So if you look at your spreadsheet, not your spreadsheet, your character sheet, you'll notice that your horses Hold on, which side? There we go. You have a favored horse on this side, but you also have your remuda here, which are other horses that
that
you
you
might
own.
have access to, or even, of course, take on a long journey, because you'd swap your horses round if you were so well equipped to stop them getting too tired. So I'll put
Cool.
my Missouri Foxtrotter in there, my remuda. I mean, I might stick it on this sheet if she turns out to be
Yeah.
my only horse, which she might do. Who can tell?
Cool.
So, who else needs a second living?
I'm going to take a second living. So shall I go? I'll go. So that's 6 on my living roll, which is frontier folk.
Ooh.
So far, my story so far, I've decided that I'm from the Northeast, the industrial working class, and my parents worked in this fish cannery. Mother died in a work accident, and me and Dad went west. To survive, we took to bounty hunting, and on a hunt for a Native American, I ended up helping him rather than taking him in, and befriended him and his people, which is where I got the tomahawk as a gift from him and learned how to use it. But now for my frontier folk, I roll a 5. One particular cold night, you are attacked by a pack of wolves. Your loyal dog saves you, and together you drive the wolves away. That's pretty cool. So that gives me 1 point in animal handling and 1 point in fighting, which is cool. That takes my fighting up to 2. And that gives me a point in animal handling, which is useful. I get to choose either man's best friend or guard dog as talents. I'm not particularly good at tracking, so I'm going to take guard dog instead of man's best friend. Where are we? So I've got yet another gun. So I get a Spencer carbine and 4d6 rounds, sleeping roll, 3d6 dollars, which is not very much. That's 511 to add to my total, and I get a dog, which is a guard dog, which is cool. And I also need to decide which attribute I'm going to take a point off. I think I'm going to take it off docility, because I don't think I've really done any kind of education in my life whatsoever. Not formal education anyway. So my docility goes down to 2. Cool. That
Sounds
was my
wise.
second living. Somebody
had acquired a claim. That was you, Jed, wasn't it?
Yes.
So I got to offer you this choice. You don't need to become a labourer on a mine, but are you going to do that?
No, I think actually I might have this character be a greenhorn with just 1 living.
Okay.
Cool. Given that this is for convention play, Bruce, are you inclined to add some skills to this greenhorn, as though they've been played a while?
I think we might want to give them a skill or 2 in something just to booster things up. Because I'm thinking I don't mind age difference. The other thing we haven't discussed, male or female characters, or are you going to leave that to the end? Gender.
Or leave it to the players to decide?
Yeah.
Well, that's their option. Yeah.
I think in my mind, my character was male, but I'll give him a name that could be either. So the players at the table can choose, make their own mind up.
I kind of decided my character was male too, and I settled on Russian. So he was Peter Andovich Karamzin, who is the younger son of a rich Russian aristocratic family who has been in the U.S. as the black sheep, trying to make his fortune. When he gets this gold mining claim, and that is what brings him to Las Vegas.
Cool.
Excellent. I don't think we've got a list of names, have we?
No, I don't think we put any in.
You're welcome to come up with names. Because technically you might want to go, hey, who says this has to be my convention character that I'm going to chuck away? I might want to play this in my own game.
Paul, what are your considerations about your character?
I think I would like to roll for a second living. Seeing as so far in his life it's been a bit rubbish.
It has. In fact, however, you might. So I seem to remember you had to. You're going to take a minus on your living. Yeah.
A minus one on the living roll, yeah.
On a -1. So roll 2d6, add them together, but take one away.
4, 5, 6, 7, 6.
6.
Frontier folk.
Frontier folk. So you may have come across Dave's character.
There we
go. Roll a d6 and let's see what that brought for you.
4.
Spent so long wandering the trails and exploring the wilderness that your horse has become your best friend, and your maps of the area are well regarded. So you get animal handling 1 and making 1.
Yep. You
can choose companion, which would give you a horse that actually has, if you like, slightly character traits, or born in the saddle, which firmly puts you in the, gives you extra skills on riding. You also get, I reckon you stole this from somewhere, an astrolabe for mapping, a small tent, some survey equipment, a Missouri foxtrotter.
What the hell's that?
It's a horse.
That's a horse.
Oh, right, okay.
And get this. Roll 2d6.
4, 6. $60.
$60.
Oh, I'm up to $67 now. Millionaire. Well, I'll be honest. I'll take Born in the Saddle because he came from the Great Lakes where my parents ran a livery stable, so I grew up around horses.
So you literally were born in the saddle, almost.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Good choice.
Makes every sense.
I lose one of. He's not the cleverest person, so I'll take me Dosty from 3 to 2.
Cool. Now, I kind of fancied sticking where I was, but this is a convention game. And if a player ends up with the only character without a gun in a Western game, they're going to be a bit pissed off. So I'm going to try and roll for another living and hopefully equip myself in the way that I might.
My character doesn't have a gun either. We could have like a slap fight.
4 is my things have gone. I'm a grifter. And
you might get a gun being a grifter potentially.
Potentially, yeah. All sorts of trouble I can get myself into there. And 9. Oh no, it's 1 dice, isn't it? Shit.
Yeah.
6. Oh, this fits my medical background. The snake oil I sell seems to have a genuine positive effect. I make my next living roll on the trader living outcome table. We've got a trader. Yeah, I guess we have. I've also got performing and doctoring, so I'm becoming an excellent doctor. I get business-minded or charming. I had potential of charming last time, so maybe I should take that. Maybe I am just naturally charming. What do you think, guys? I get 1d66.
Charming is probably a better talent for a convention game.
Yeah.
Business minded is about earning more money during the turn of the seasons.
And I get 62 bottles of snake oil. And but sadly, only $20.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of bottles because they're not selling very well. That's what you're saying.
No, I've just knocked it together, and I have +1 fame and +1 reputation. No gun. Oh dear! Now I'm torn.
Something about your tonic means that you don't get a lot of repeat customers.
Sounds like my character in our Tales the Old West campaign has been known to use his doctoring skills to poison people. Not known.
Snake oil, the Undertaker's best friend.
It's entire. Everyone thinks he's a good guy, but they don't really know very well.
I think I'm taking a point off grit to advance this one, and I'm now torn. Do I want to go for a third living?
I'm not going to go for another living, so you might be the only person doing that, which might be cool.
Okay, I'm going to take a point off quick as well and go for that third living, which I think I am constrained in what I take. The trader. So let's see how well my business went. Where's trader? Trader's down here, and D6.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 2, so I'm in a livery stable. Does that fit? Oh. I've rolled it. I'm going to go with it. Still no gun. But I wasn't going to get a gun off trader.
No, I think maybe right at the end we can do a little roundup so Bruce can tweak the characters to make sure they've got everything they need. So
I'm going to take animal handling 1 and making 1. Actually, I haven't added my last set of skills either, so I must do that. I'll do that. Do you want to go ahead and do the next thing, Dave? Which
was that was your third living then, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're pretty much there. Maybe we'll talk through. Everybody gets 2 ability points to add.
Yep.
No ability can go above 5, and people can talk about their faith and their big dream. And who is your partner?
So Douglas, do you want to go? Where were you going to put your extra 2 points, and why? What's your thinking? Abilities, your skills, abilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, do you mean light fingered or do you mean shooting? Yeah.
Yep. As long as you don't go. Yeah, you
five.
just can't go above 5.
couldn't afford the second D.
Yes. So did you include, so how many livings did you have, Douglas? You had 2. So your base fame is 1. Did you gain any bonus fame during the life path? So that would make your fame of 2. Yep. So anybody who only had 1 living starts with a base fame of 0. If you had 2 livings, you have a base fame of 1. If you had 3 livings, you have a base fame of 2. And any modifier that you get through the life path gets added to that base figure. Now, there are 2 ways of doing the reputation. So the reputation score is a 2-digit score. One digit relating to your public spirit and 1 relating to your morals. So it's like a D66 score, but for morals and for public spirit. Now, there are 2 ways of doing this. You can either just start with both of those values at 3, which are, medium values. That means, the description of that reputation is unimportant and irrelevant. Who are you? Alternatively, up to you, Bruce, you could make us roll for that, which would then give us a wider spread of reputations. Anybody with a reputation bonus or negative would then apply it to one of those 2 stats, one of those 2 scores.
Shall we roll it? Let's, because it's a democracy.
Yeah.
Shall we vote? Roll it.
I think rolling it is fun. Yeah.
I'd like to roll, yeah.
See if I get snake eyes, though.
So roll a D66.
Whoa.
66. Well, okay, you are a pillar of the community. That is as good as it gets. That is the best reputation you can have. Well, so you can't go above that. So your reputation is 6/6.
This is why I like to start at 3/3.
And this is your reputation. This doesn't mean this is actually what you're like. So you might be. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, I'll do the same then. So my score is 54. So I am law-abiding and supportive, apparently. I didn't get any bonuses on during my life path. So my morals are 4, my public spirit is 5. And yeah, I am law-abiding and supportive. I'm also going to do my 2 extra points. So I'm thinking that I'm going to put 1 extra point in animal handling so I can order my dog about properly. Not that he does any. Actually, at this point, I'm not going to do that because this is a convention game. And actually, I don't need to make a roll to control the dog at the level of the talent that we've got. Because at this level, at the basic level of talent, the guard dog gives me a bonus to presence tests when I'm intimidating somebody with my dog beside me, because I can get my dog to growl at them. So I'm going to put 1 in presence to help me do that. And then I think, because I've been a bounty hunter, I am going to put 1 on shooting. So that goes from 1 to 2, which leaves me with fighting of 2, labor of 1, and presence of 1. Light fingered of 2, operate 1, shooting 2, animal handling, Hawkeye, and making all at 1. With a fame of 1, and as I said, morals 4, public spirit of 5. Cool.
Do we know Paul's reputation?
Do you want
No,
to
we
do
don't
that, Matthew,
want-
while I write my stuff up? So
We don't want to because it's a minus.
Do you want to roll 2d6?
Right, I've got a -2. Which one does that come off of?
Well, it can come off either. But if you start off by roll 2 different coloured dice, and one colour is morals and the other is public spirit.
Right. Can't go lower than 11, can it?
No, sorry.
yeah, so you're
and 1.
So you roll 2 1s.
Yes.
Right.
So that is as low as it gets. So your modifiers don't apply.
Yes.
You are a self-serving scum of the earth.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not me that has to play him.
Well, that's your reputation. Why do you two associate? That's going to be the interesting discussion.
Yeah, I don't want to play anymore.
I'll say it's okay because you won't be playing the character, will you? Some other.
No, I'm quite pleased about that.
Shall I go next?
Sorry, you need to know where I'm going to put these other ones. No. Well, based on that roll, I'm going to put 1 in fighting, and I'm going to put 1 in Hawkeye. And that'll be me done. And my big dream is to stop rolling rubbish dice.
Yeah, we all have that dream. It never comes true, though. Who else needs to allocate their last points?
Let's see. So for my reputation, I got 3-2.
Let me go back to the page. 3 on morals, 2 on public spirit. Is that right?
Yep.
That makes you self-important but trivial.
Yeah, sounds about right. And then I'm going to put my 1 point into shooting and 1 point into Hawkeye.
Cool.
Suppose that leaves me next. So I got 5 and 3. And I've got a -1 as well to apply.
Okay, so you can apply that to either of those 2 values. At the moment, 5 and 3 makes you likable but indecisive. Again, this is your reputation. It's not like a character trait.
Yeah.
This is what other people think of you. So you can then modify that to be either 4-3 or 5-2.
I quite like the respectful, not a lapdog to the law.
Okay, yeah. So that makes you 5 and 2 then. So you've got quite high morals, but your public spirit is left a bit wanting.
And now I do have a question for everybody because I know it's going to be a thing in the game. Because I did mention the game's called Stage to Vegas and it involves you moving about in a stagecoach. Does anyone have operate at least at 1?
Matthew, you're muted, mate. Or I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Very strange. Must be a loose connection somewhere.
Loose connection somewhere, yeah.
Given that I have a wagon of sorts, I better take operate then.
You don't have to take operate. I just want to check if anyone's got it now, because I will take a point of operate.
So there's an interesting question here, actually. Do we say in the book that operate is the skill for driving a stagecoach? Because I would have thought that was animal handling.
No, driving a stagecoach with
driving
horses
a
would be animal handling.
Would be operate.
Well, in that case, I don't have to worry, because if people got animal handling, that's perfect.
I've also got animal handling, and I'm adding 2 points. I'm leaning in on my slightly dodgy character. I'm adding a point of insight, and I'm adding a point to performing, so that I'm very much a fast talker. And I have rolled a 2 and a 3, which makes me piquant and dishonest. But I'm thinking I've got a point of reputation, so
you can make it 3-3. Then you can be unimportant and irrelevant. Who are you? That's where you wanted to be, mate. That's what you said. That's
where I wanted to start. But I am going to be actually. That's all I can do. Otherwise, I'm selfish and unlikable, and I want to be likable. So, oh no, maybe my reputation is actually selfish and unlikable. I think that probably does work better. So I'm slightly more public spirited than people think I am. But there we go. So if I roll this on here, come on. Why can't I go anywhere? Oh. So I am 2 on morals and 4 on public spirit and selfish and unlikable.
So, Bruce. So my character has no gun, no horse, no gear of any sort, but does have 2 capital that I guess has to either be put into the mining claim I have or turned into cash.
Yep.
But what makes sense for the game?
Well, interestingly enough, your characters are going to be going, because this is something you already know, will be hired to do a job, to take the wagon to basically a mining camp, which is apparently being closed down.
Okay, cool.
So this could actually be This could be one of the reasons. Could be your claim. You've been given this mine, even though it's probably dry, but you've won it.
Mine. Yes,
and you might want to do that. I am going to be doctor. I have no formal qualifications. I have no book learning, but I'm going to be doctor anyway. Josiah. Oh dear. I'm going to be Dr. Josiah Midnight, which is a character I played who was indeed a bit of a snake oil salesman once for the Georgian Society's big anniversary do I did years ago in the past. My faith is going to be there is one born every minute.
I've just written my big dream in my faith. So my big dream, because I've been basically on the road effectively since my mother died many years ago, and just me and my father. My big dream is to find a spouse and build a family that my mother would have been proud of. I haven't worked out what my faith is going to be yet. Actually, my faith is going to be something around the spirit of my mother is watching over me.
My faith is in the gullibility of everybody else in the world. And there's one born every minute. And my big dream is a life of leisure in the flesh pits of San Francisco, which is one in the eye for my parents.
Yes, yeah. So my faith is kind of based on the sort of the spirit teachings that I've learned from the Native Americans that I've spent much time with in the wilderness, and who I befriended, who befriended me and my father, who's still alive.
So are we all on a coach together? Is that the idea, that the adventure starts with a stagecoach?
No, actually, you're hired to take a stagecoach to mining
Ah, right.
because it's been
Excellent.
closed down.
With a passenger or two?
Well, there will be passengers you're bringing back, so the guide is taking you,
Cool.
which is a bit unusual, but hey, for $10 a day, for 2 days work,
that is a very good salary. That is.
who's to argue? It's a simple job, right? I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
Obviously not. No.
So how did I start life? What was my first trade? Oh, yeah. I was a ranch hand.
Yep. So we all need to work out how much cash we've got. I think we've probably all done that. Capital. So Jed, did you decide what you're going to do with your capital? Or did we collectively decide?
I don't know. Bruce seems to have an idea.
I mean, if you want one of them to be this claim, but remember, this claim is going to be shut down.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's next to one of your claims. So if that's run out, maybe your claim up the way could also run out as well.
Well, I guess I'm saying maybe I might liquidate one of the capital, but I wasn't sure if having the character with a lot of cash would be good or bad for the game, considering you're being hired to go do this job take the stagecoach. It doesn't necessarily make sense. You have a dude with a lot of money.
Perhaps you're thinking about liquidating it, and that's why you're going up. To find out whether the rumors are true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then everyone done their fame and reputation. We've done all that, haven't we? Weapons and horses. So I don't know if you want us to, whether we've got time to do horses and compadres now.
We've got 10 minutes. Maybe we should do one for demonstration purposes at least.
Mm-hmm. So who has a horse that they want to stat up or put together?
I've done mine.
So we roll for that. So, well, shall we finish off yours then, Douglas? Your Mustang. Okay, so your Mustang has a riding modifier of -1 because it's a challenge to ride. It has grit of 5, quick of 4, and cunning of 4. Okay. Yeah. Five of 4 and a cunning of 4. You have a fighting of 1, resilience of 0 in the event that the horse does try and kick somebody. So you can train your horses to actually have them kick and stuff, but otherwise, horses aren't used in fighting. You're just riding them, so they're not. You don't kind of have war horses in that sense.
Can I ask a quick question about horses stats?
Yeah.
I noticed that with a person's stats, the maximum's 5. With a horse, it looks like maximum 6. Is that right?
Yeah. Or it could potentially even go higher than that with training.
Oh, okay. And is that the same for abilities as well? For horses, like fighting and moving?
No, I mean,
No.
horses are unlikely to get that high, but the limit would be the same as other
Okay.
characters. So 5 abilities.
Right, thanks. Just made a change to something.
Okay. So every Mustang comes with the hot horse quality because they love to gallop. But in creating one, you get a random quality as well. So roll D66, and the table on page 125 is the one we're going to refer to. 26, stamina. So the horse can endure more than other horses. You get +1 to the horse's resilience. And resilience is used in chases. So in chases, your horses might get tired, and they'll make a resilience roll to see how well they resist that. So that you've got hard.
Your hum has come back as well. Your hum has come back. Do you want to turn your gain down? Still there. Now, fine.
Now it's gone. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So you get 1 flaw, which is hard riding, which is reflected in your riding modifier of -1, and then you get a random flaw. So again, you roll a D66. This time on the table on page 126.
65.
65. So this might not be so bad for a one shot. Infertile. You can't breed with this horse, even if you wanted to. And I don't mean you personally breeding with the horse. I mean breed the horse.
I'm bloody well glad of that.
States and territories means
I mean, I'm not so much worried about myself as I am about Mary Madison. I mean, no, just
there's an X card at convention.
There's an X card right
there.
there.
Yeah, absolutely.
The horse cannot be used
anyway,
for breeding. All right.
So yeah,
that's what it is.
And that is your horse.
May I ask a question that is just above reputation for the tale of this character? She's 31. Her archetype, I believe, is a ranch hand because that's the current archetype. Is that correct?
So in this case, archetype doesn't really apply. If you're using the character sheet because you are using the archetypes in the book, that's where you'd write the archetype in there.
Okay. And lifestyle, what would be the response to that?
Right. So lifestyle is a particular mechanic in the game. So at the turn of every season, you decide what lifestyle your character wants to have, depending on how much money you've got, and you pay for that up front. So if you can afford a lavish lifestyle, that might cost you a couple of $100, but you get bonuses to reputation and fame. Or if you can't really afford much and you spend a little bit of money, you get negatives because you are living in a scuzzy little hut, or you've got broken, threadbare clothes.
So it doesn't really apply to a clan.
It won't really. It could do if Bruce wanted
okay
the lifestyle of some of the characters to be important in the story, then we could just put whatever lifestyle he wants in there, or he wants to do that.
Understood.
Yeah.
So I went in and decided to take a second living. because I went back and I read and I realized that one living is like you're basically a youngster, and so I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, this guy sounds like he's done a little bit more in my head than just one being like 18 years old. So I rolled
You
a
do
second
another
time.
living if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, so I rolled on the labor table and ended up that I killed a man in a fight over an ounce of gold dust.
Right. Cool.
So, I gave
So
him-
you got +1 on fighting and +1 on operate.
Yep.
Woohoo!
yeah, and I took the knife fighter talent, and then I got 1 fame and -1 reputation.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
And 3d6.
Oh yeah,
And an ounce of gold dust you've got.
Cool. So you're loaded, because an ounce of gold dust is quite good money.
yes.
So we all need to kill Jed's character for his starting money, then, guys.
yeah, because he just has a knife.
I just think it's interesting. You killed a man in a fight over an ounce of gold dust. It implies that somebody has already tried to kill him for his starting money, and he killed that man
And
in a
he
fight.
failed. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll use one of my rifles to get him from distance. It's fine.
I don't know who here's seen the film Sisu.
I've seen clips, but I haven't seen
Yeah.
the whole film.
So the plot is: a Finnish bloke discovers gold, wants to get it to a bank, meets some Nazis on the way.
Kills them.
Yeah.
Graphically.
Yeah. Yes. I think. So did we want to create one compadre? Or
We
are
have
we out
3
of time
minutes
now?
to do so. I
It might
have
be
a-
better to leave that then, maybe, and just do a roundup. If there's anything else Bruce
Yeah.
wants to round us off with, do we want any more skills for anyone, or does anybody need an item or a horse or anything?
I could use a horse, I think.
Tell you what,
We'll get a
take my
coach.
Missouri Foxtrotter, because I think I'm a horse trader. And this Missouri Foxtrotter is a marvelous horse.
Ah.
It only cost you that little ounce of gold dust you've got in your pocket there.
What was that,
Uh,
Bruce?
I was going to say that we will be taking the stagecoach
Ah,
to a location, so we don't need to worry about
horses
horses
are
because there will be
immaterial.
a form of transport that we
Yeah.
can have.
No, I don't
My
have a
character
horse.
doesn't have a horse.
No.
So that's in roundup. I've said I've written a little description with the view to the player in mind. Born in Europe to nonconformist parents, your first living out west was on a ranch where you took charge of the chuck wagon, then mixed up a snake oil, which sold quite well, a cure-all for both people and horses. The last few months, you've become quite the horse trader.
Don't ask who happened to the owners of those horses.
Yeah, so mine was from the northeast, industrial working class. Parents worked in fish canneries on the docks of Boston. Mother died in a work accident, and it's just me and my dad. We left and went west. To survive, we took to bounty hunting. On a hunt for a Native American, I ended up helping him rather than taking him in, and befriended him and his people. We ended up living in the wilderness with a dog given me by my native friends. Kiowa, the dog named after the tribe I befriended, saved me from a wolf. Eventually, Dad and I ended up in Las Vegas.
Do you want me to go next?
Go ahead, Paul.
Yep.
Well, we had it tough. He came from the Great Lakes area around Wisconsin, but he moved around so much because of his family, who were, for the best part mad and part foolish. So he got away from that as quickly as he could, but not bringing the sharpest knife in the drawer. He got involved with the wrong people and shut up a bank clerk. And he got a bit of a taste for it because he he then tried to get away from that because he was being hunted down as a wanted man, so he was wandering the trails in the outback as far as he could to get away from people, and spent most of his time on his horse. And for some reason, being quite thick, he's got an astrolabe, which he probably is still working. He either stole or he's trying to work out how to use it. And he's got some survey equipment because his dream is that he might actually get out of this life and do a bit of prospecting and strike it rich.
Cool.
Douglas?
Jump in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a young greenhorn, Al Caldwell, come from New York from the music halls. His parents grew up from there and grew up in that background. Ended up having to head out to the west because, unfortunately, there was a bit of a fight. Certain disparages against him. The fight was won fair, but sadly, it ended up in the result of his opponent. And even though that it was seen as a fair fight, and the law was kind of still known to that person as a favourite, he decided to head out. His aim is to make it to the halls in San Francisco for the West. That's how he's ended up in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Cool.
Excellent. Douglas?
The Madisons, my family, were well-established tobacco farmers, supporting the Democrats and General Lee. The family was killed, and as the eldest, I made my way west to get away from controversy. Due to poverty, I became a wrangler and increased my shooting skills and became popular and respected along the way.
What the hell are you doing with this bunch of reprobates?
I'm
law-abiding and supportive, I'll have you know.
Someone will know why, but it's not me. It will be the person at the con.
Yeah.
I want to know how I got the. I need to figure out how I got the Mustang.
You might have just bought it at somewhere along the line, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe it was maybe it came from some Arab friend, just a gift to go with my library. I don't know.
And so we finish, ladies and gentlemen, as we started. Let's say goodbye to our compadres, and I will end the stream.
Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for participating, guys. That was great fun.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot. Bye all.
Bye.
Thanks.